The walls are closing in around Donald Trump today as more information has just been released about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, look, the Epstein estate has released some 23,000 emails, and House Democrats have been poring over them, and they found some correspondence directly mentioning Donald Trump by name.
And these emails are not looking too good for Donald Trump, as he is mentioned in at least 3 of the messages which have been released to the public so far. These newly released emails are raising more and more calls for Donald Trump to be removed from office for the absolute monster that he is. One email even mentions that Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls, and in a future email in 2015, it is implied that this information could be used as leverage for the then future president of the United States of America. What are you hiding, Donald? All of this information also comes right before Representative Adelita Grijalva will be sworn in by Mike Johnson today, giving Democrats and a few breakaway Republicans the final vote they need to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. So if you're interested in this story, be sure to watch to the end of the video, leave a like on it, and be sure to subscribe to the Really American YouTube channel. Also, be sure to stick around for Donald Trump's insane response to this breaking news.
By name. They've released 3 of these emails, and they're quite interesting. The first one was between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein back in 2011, where Epstein wrote that Donald Trump spent hours at my house with an unnamed victim of sex trafficking, whose name is redacted in the email. And Epstein referred to Trump as the dog that hasn't barked.
The dog that hasn't barked? What is Epstein implying here? This is the first email that was released to the public, which was written back in 2011, and it showed that Donald Trump has been to Jeffrey Epstein's house for hours with a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. The alarm bells should be screaming right now. This information also goes directly against the testimony that Ghislaine Maxwell gave to Todd Blanche when she stated that she never saw Donald Trump inside of Jeffrey Epstein's house. But now we have this email directly to Maxwell from Epstein that says Trump was in his house for hours with one of his victims. So not only could we never trust a word out of Maxwell's mouth, now we have verifiable proof that she lied directly to Todd Blanche. But just wait, because the next few emails are even worse for Donald Trump.
And then in a separate email years later with author Michael Wolff in 2019, Epstein said explicitly that Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop.
Donald Trump, the president of the United States, knew about the girls. He knew. And he never said a word. He knew about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes over a decade ago, and he said and did nothing. This is a bombshell revelation, and it is seriously putting the president in some very, very, very hot water right now. How long did he know about the girls? Who are they? How does Trump know? Did he know from personal experience? This should be the #1 story in America right now. But if you can believe it, it gets even worse for Dirty Don.
And then the Democrats cite another email with Wolff in 2015 where Epstein and Wolff are discussing if they can craft an answer for an upcoming Donald Trump interview. And Wolff sort of suggests that Epstein has leverage over Donald Trump, saying if he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you valuable PR and political currency.
Wow, I mean, that's it. Jeffrey Epstein had blackmail on Donald Trump for basically the entirety of his first term and all of his time on the campaign trail in 2015 and 2016. Not only is this earth-shattering news, it also raises questions as to why this was not released sooner. The FBI, the DOJ, and every single Republican in Congress should be questioned as to why we, the American people, did not know this information from the beginning. This is sickening. I also wonder why Michael Wolff did not say anything sooner. There is so much more to this story we do not know, but thanks to the Democrats in the House fighting to release this information, now we the public get to know about it. Here's a little bit more of that email from Michael Wolff and Epstein in regards to a potential question that Trump was going to be asked about his relationship to Epstein back in 2015 by CNN.
But he said in regards to Trump, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him generating a debt.
Generating a debt? The only debt that Donald Trump should have is to all the banks that he borrowed from before he crashed and burned all of his companies, not to some convicted sex criminal. And if this was not bad enough for Donald Trump, it only gets worse. Since the government has been reopened by some spineless Democrats, there is one good silver lining. Mike Johnson is now forced to swear in Adelita Grijalva, giving Democrats and a few Republicans the final vote they need to release the Jeffrey Epstein files to the public.
Is it your expectation that tomorrow Congresswoman Grijalva gets signed in and it gets to 218?
Yes, but it's not done until it's done. And there's a tremendous amount of White House pressure on a couple of the people, in particular, the Republicans who signed the petition. My expectation is it holds. Adelita Grijalva signs it. And then we have a vote 7 days later. December 3rd is when we're targeting for a vote of the full release of the Epstein files.
And this fact is sending shockwaves throughout the political world. I mean, Mike Johnson literally shut down the government for 40 days and has taken Congress out of session for a total of 2 months just to hide the fact that his ringmaster, Donald Trump, has been buddy-buddy with Jeffrey Epstein for the past few decades.
Unfortunately, it was the cause of it. I mean, it pains me because people are going without food stamps, people are going without pay. All of that could have been resolved if he had just had Congress in session, because we would have been paying the troops. We would have been extending SNAP. And here's the dispositive fact, Chris. If it wasn't because of Epstein, he could have still shut down Congress and just sworn in Adelita Grijalva. The fact that he didn't swear her in is the reason that he shut this thing down.
And that is a fact. Mike Johnson does not want the Epstein files out, and he is panicked. And these new emails are just showcasing how royally screwed this entire administration really is. And with Adelita Grijalva being sworn in sometime today, this could very well spell the end for Donald Trump and could literally be the downfall of the MAGA movement.
How much pressure is going to be brought to bear on that House on that vote?
There's going to be tremendous pressure, and that is because I believe 50 to 60 Republicans could break, and that would be the first day of Donald Trump being a lame duck. Look, this is about our politics. Are we going to be for the forgotten class of Americans or for the Epstein class? And
in major news, Donald Trump has just responded to the news in a Truth Social post in the most predictable way possible. He is calling the whole thing the Jeffrey Epstein hoax and that it was manufactured by the Democrats to deflect on how poorly they handled the shutdown. But in reality, we all know that the shutdown was manufactured by the Republicans to protect Trump from this very issue. He is then trying to spin the issue back to the Democrats, saying that, they cost the country $1.5 trillion and they're the evil, woke demon rats who are, all the problem, when in reality, he is just trying to pull focus away from him because he is under a lot of pressure right now and he is panicking that more and more people are waking up every single day to the reality that him being friends with Jeffrey Epstein is a huge no-no for the President of the United States of America. He then says that there should be no deflections to Epstein or anything else and that any Republican involved should be focused only on opening up our country and fixing the massive damage caused by Democrats. Again, spinning the issue away from himself towards the Democrats. He knows what he is doing. He is putting out this post in a panic because he realizes that these emails really do not look good for him and that the American public watching this information unfold are really starting to question their belief structure and their ideas that this guy is good, because this is really bad for Donald Trump and he knows it. So now all we have to do is sit back, wait, and hope that our elected officials do the right thing. These emails and the release of these files feels like a tide shift amongst the American people, and something that everyone across the political spectrum can all agree on is beyond insane. If Donald Trump had connections to Jeffrey Epstein, if Donald Trump was buddy-buddy with him and did some of the crimes even remotely close to what Jeffrey Epstein has done, we all should know about it, and Donald Trump should be immediately removed from office. That is why this is such a big deal, because every single American across the political spectrum can understand that Donald Trump having a relationship with Epstein is a big no-no for the President of the United States of America. What is he hiding that he needs to apply so much pressure to every single Republican in the House and to his lapdog Mike Johnson to make sure that the government shuts down for 40 days and that no one gets to hear about it? There is serious secrets being kept from the American people, and we are this close to figuring them out. So if you like this video or want to see more like it, be sure to leave a thumbs up on this video, comment down below what you think of this insane bombshell revelation, and be sure to subscribe to the Really American YouTube channel. Have a nice day.